We're live, Crystal. How are you?
Hello, Joe. I am doing great. I just got home from yoga, so I
Oh,
feel
you did.
wonderful.
You've got.
And to see you and do another PE excellent adventure.
Now, I know you couldn't see this, but anyone watching should be able to see that we have a fabulous little logo here on the left-hand side, courtesy of Mr. Joey Fife, the physical educator, who made a very nice image of us in a rocket going off on our adventures, which I just love. So, thank you,
I,
Joey. Wonderful. Very
I know
proud.
that was during the WHPE convention last week, and you and I were sitting in the audience, and all of a sudden there was a rocket ship, and we blasted off. Woo!
That was cool. I've always wanted to go on a rocket, and now I have. So, yay.
Hey, we could check that off our bucket list.
We could. We could. Had a few planets on the trip as well.
So Joe and I had a big week last week with the WHPE convention,
We did.
which was awesome.
Oh, every year it blows my socks off. There's just so much quality, so much to learn, and just not enough time. You just,
Well, I
I like to
know.
give it an extra day or two to just really soak everything in.
I know. I went to a lot of really great sessions, and it was so hard to choose because there were so many people at the same time. But
Yeah.
one of them, I went to a Squares. Uh,
Oh yeah.
it's a new company that has it's a square mat,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm using it tomorrow in my class for the first time. So next hangout, I can mention how it went. But it's like
Square
you
is
can make
Squair, isn't it?
Squairs.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Squares.
Tell
And
me about it because I didn't get to go to that one, and I've seen them, and I know they're on Twitter, and I will post their information in the show notes as well. But can you tell me more? So I.
It's the woman that developed this product was having trouble with agility letters and trying to make them fit for what she wanted to use them for. And so she had like a bunch taped together, and all of a sudden she pulled the tape up, and there was just one square left, and that was like, whoa, aha moment. And the squares were born. They come in high school and elementary sizes, and they are square. They're black, and then one side sticks to whatever surface you're on, and you can do lots, millions of things with them. And then the other side can move, so you can, use it for pushing things, or else they have this cool thing where you sit on the square, and then you have a pool noodle
Yeah.
that has a rope through it. And then the person on the square can sit down, and then the person with the rope can pull you, and your feet are off the ground. So you can work on core with your feet off the ground while they pull you.
Oh, that's neat.
It,
So everyone's getting a workout. The person who's working on their course sitting there, and the person who's pulling as well. Oh,
so the unit we're starting next week is volleyball, and of course we always struggle with the fitness end of volleyball. So on the sides, I'm going to start it with my fifth grade with I have a lower net that I use, and then on the sides I'm going to have the squares, and they're going to play like uh, neutron, they call it, where they pass and set and it has to bounce. And they're going to play 5 points. I'm going to have music going. When the music stops, the agility letters or the squares that I have set up, they're going to go through the squares on each side of the net and then push them also, and then push them back, and
yeah.
then agility ladder for however many, like probably 2 minutes, and then they're going to come back to the game.
Nice.
So I'm excited. So tomorrow I'm using them for the first time.
Sweet. Well,
So what did you see at the WHP convention?
I all sorts of stuff. I think one of the best ones I went to Christy Malley's session on a collaborative journey into creating a standards-based curriculum. Christy Malley, who is at UW La Crosse and who's just fabulous, she worked with Wassel School District with their PEP grant for the last few years, basically completely redoing their curriculum, making sure it was standards-based. And, you know, your curriculum is always a working document. You're always looking to, what's working, what's not working. And I know we've been working hard to try and, move move things, make things more standards-based. We've been doing standards-based grading at school, but her message was you have to start with the end in mind. What's your if you've got a student and they're on their way out the door, goodbye, that's it, you've graduated from high school. What should they know and be able to do? And that's your starting point. And then from there, you're going to work your way back. So really, it is a case of the activity is the very last thing that you determine, because the activity is what's going to help you reach your learning objective and your ultimate learning outcome. So that was fantastic. She made I was tweeting like mad during that session. I was like, yeah, this is so good. And and to hear the experience of the Wassail School District staff as well, and how they work together. And one very important thing that came out is they found they were trying to do too much in their curriculum. I thought that was a pretty valid point. Sometimes we're like, oh, this is great, this is fun, this is great, and it's like, yeah, it is, but does it fit in with where you're trying to go on your journey? You want to get to your destination, but you don't want to take too many detours along the way, because most of us we don't have the time in order to do that. It would be fantastic if we were
Absolutely.
in a situation where we had enough PE time every single day, every year in school, but we don't. So, yeah, thinking about cutting things out sometimes it's hard. It's it's just like when you clean out at home sometimes. You have to be in the right frame of mind to it's like, oh, I need this, I need that. It's like, do you really need this or not? So kind of taking the same approach in your curriculum, and it's not always easy. And of course, when you're working with team members, everyone's got their little, pet favorites, and you're like, ugh. So that was fantastic. I did a presentation with Paul Rosengard from Spark and Jim Barton, who's from Milwaukee Public Schools, which is great. And it's always nice presenting with other people because you learn, obviously, from them too. And one of the apps I hadn't used before and didn't know about that Paul presented on was SlideShark. And I really liked how with SlideShark, you could edit your slides as you're doing your presentation. I'm like, oh, that's neat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Down.
As you're presenting to highlight something, you draw around it, put an arrow to it, delete things. So I guess it's kind of I imagine like an Educreations or a Show Me, what's the other big one? What's the other?
Oh, I can see it. It's white.
I know. The other one that you can make lessons and flip lessons with. Gosh, it's going to drive me crazy now. I'll have to look in a second.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think most of the people might know what we mean as well. I'll put it in the show notes when I finally. Oh, explain everything. That's it.
Yes. Explain
everything. So it's a little bit like explain everything as you're doing a presentation. So that was neat. That was very
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, going back to the curriculum, 3 weeks ago, we met as K through 12 physical education, and we have finally a vertical alignment with just our essential power standards. Ooh. That we are guaranteeing that every child that leaves our school, like you said, these are what they are going to leave us with. And it was a very interesting process that, just like you said, went back and forth and talked a lot about it, and we finally have that document, which is awesome because we got our power standards last year, but now we've even pared it down more to like 3 to 4 at each grade level. So, I mean, for K through 4, from 5 to 8, from 9 to 12, and that we are guaranteeing our students when they leave us this is what they will know. So that is exciting.
Oh, it is. That's a huge step forward. When you look at the grade level outcomes document from Shape America, you can't do everything in a semester class. You cannot hit every single standard and every single outcome.
Absolutely.
So within your things, that what is the focus? I mean, it's end of the quarter here for us now, and I'm sure it's the same for you. And I had some students asking about standards and so on. I said, well, in our outdoor class, one of the main standard focuses is standard 4. Can you be safe? Can you be responsible? Can you work with other people in an outdoors environment? So that's a huge focus. Whereas standard three, fitness is less of a focus. It's still there, but that's not really the main thing. Now, in my cardio class, standard three has more of a priority than some of the other standards. So it's just, again, look at what you have in your curriculum and see what's going to fit best. So
Absolutely. It was, like I said, it's very interesting, and I'm going to uh, a workshop on December 3rd with Ken Robinson about grading, standards-based grading.
Ken Robinson.
Yes, I'm so excited.
I'm so jealous.
In Menominee Falls, you should come.
Okay, I'm going to try. Oh, wow, that would be
amazing. I have heard all about him. I have never met him in person.
He has, I think, one of the most watched TED Talks in the world, certainly in the education realm. Or I'll have to put that in, because that is, if you haven't watched Sir Ken Robinson's TED Talk, then you need to, because it is fantastic.
It is. I mean, at the school, my principal, who is awesome, he said, he put this out. Who would like to go to Ken Robinson's workshop on grading? I'm like, well, I'll go. I'm the only one going. I am like, are you kidding me? So I am going to be, physical educator is going to be the person that is having all the knowledge on standards-based grading. I'm like, yes. Yeah. So I'm very excited. December 3rd.
December 3rd.
Falls.
Menominee Falls. Okay, I am going to be looking at
see if you can come, Joe. Do a remote from there and talk about standards-based grading. I'm really excited.
Wow, that's cool. That's very cool. What else did you see? What else did you see? Like, you presented as well, didn't you?
Yes, I got to present with the awesome Mary Wentland. And I just finished today figuring out how I was going to use this cool idea she has called brain surgery. And she has the kids use Play-Doh, and they make the brains, and then she uses them in just a little different way. What I'm going to do to introduce my drug in my health class, 8th grade, I'm going to introduce my drug ed unit. The kids are going to make the brain, and then with hands-on, to learn how alcohol and how marijuana and how those different things affect the brain. And so I'm going to try that next week and use Mary's idea that she calls brain surgery. I thought, how awesome is that?
Wow. I mean, you can't go wrong with Play-Doh. I mean,
Right.
Who doesn't?
8th graders and Play-Doh? Whoa.
It's therapeutic.
And then one of the young teachers, I had 2 young teachers that are just starting out come up, and that was the best part of my presentation at the end. And they wanted, to get my information, so, I could talk to them about what, if they have questions. And one of them did a tweet to me about this cool program. Of course, I haven't had time to read the whole thing. About this program from, I think it's King Arthur Flour. I will look it up and find out. And they will come to your school and teach your kids how to bake and cook.
Ooh. And
they came to Lafarge, Wisconsin, which is a teeny tiny little town. And this young teacher, I should have her name, she sent that to me, and I thought, I am going to look into that.
When you that would be so awesome. I'll put it in the show notes as well. So
I will send it to you.
Okay,
great.
What else did I?
And I also went to Kelly Bullard to the Zumba and Zumba Kids, and I'm writing a grant right now, helping our other school in our district that doesn't have the new Bluetooth H7 heart monitors. Mm-hmm. And so one of the teachers that Kelly had with her said she would come to our school and do like Zumba Kids and do different things with Zumba and rhythms. And so I'm going to write that into grant.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, Kelly.
How about you?
Oh, yeah. I was saying Kelly always does an amazing job. I mean, she's just fantastic. She's a Zumba education specialist, and we're so lucky that she is from Wisconsin. She's taught P for quite a few years before she ended up doing her Zumba full time, and she always comes back and helps out, and she's just awesome.
It was
Huge.
awesome. Awesome. I tried to get into Matt Pomeroy's, but it was overflowing and I couldn't even get in the door.
Yeah, Matt Pomeroy presented a session on Google Forms, and
Yeah,
it's good when you can't even get in the door. But that's great. It's great that more and more people are realizing these tools are out there and wanting to um, you know learn from them and just streamline so many of the processes that we do on a daily basis. I've said many times, find the easy button. Don't make life any harder than you have to. And if there's a workaround somewhere, there's a hack somewhere, share it, find it, use it, save yourself some time, because we know how valuable it all is. So,
and I also went to the Lakeland High School, Minocqua, Wisconsin, their physical literacy. That was awesome. And I'm using that next week too. Their idea to start out, instead of like an entrance slip or exit slip, I'm starting out with their idea with Post-it notes. And you ask them different questions to see where their learning is currently. They had so many great ideas about physical literacy. Oh,
it's
wow.
funny you should mention that. I wasn't able to think. I was presenting at the same time, and I was like, oh, darn it. And my colleague Alicia, she went, and I actually have here, anything you see it or not, this is one of the things they presented, which was, again, using a pre-knowledge checklist where just a simple
Yes.
alphabet and going through it and saying, right, what do you know? So can you think of something? This was, I was playing around with doing one for weight training here. All the different things that you think about when you are thinking about weight training, so on. So I had things like, hamstrings, so you got a muscle there, isotonic, isometric, isokinetic, overload, recovery, MRSA, because you're going to be careful with your hygiene in the weight room, obviously. Cadence, I mean, you can go on and on and on, but what a great way to get those wheels turning in students' heads, and then also exactly see where they are at.
Absolutely. They had a lot of really great ideas that I'm going to try out with my students on physical literacy. And their check for understandings is also, wow. Wow. Yes, they're amazing at Lakeland
fantastic
High
team
School.
up there. Absolutely fantastic team. So yeah.
Yes.
What else have I got?
And then you and I, well, we did something fun. If we can talk about the fun thing, we went to the All Blacks rugby match.
We did. Yep, the All Blacks played the USA. It was like the first time for 30-something years they'd played on US soil, I think. And luckily for us, it was down in Chicago, which is not too far. And yeah, so we went down on Saturday. That was your first experience of a rugby match, wasn't it, Crystal?
It was. It was amazing. I didn't know anything. And seeing how their athleticism was amazing.
Oh, they're just outstanding. They're absolutely outstanding.
It was so fun, and to go to like a first event like that, and a sporting event that I know nothing about, that I learned so much about, and wow, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. And what was really nice is you have people there from all over the world. I think there was people who'd flown in from all around the US to watch it. Obviously, people who'd flown in from New Zealand. Then they're going over to England now. They're playing England this week. So it was kind of, and this is all for the World Cup build up for next year, which the World Cup's in November, I believe. It is in England and Wales, and this time next year. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for them to see where they're at. And so yes, I'll be viewing the England All Blacks match. And
I'm going to be watching more rugby, and yes, I met a couple. She was from New Zealand, so I got to talk to her a lot and find out about Kiwi. I didn't know what that was, but now I do. From New Zealand, so the whole day was amazing day. Yeah, awesome.
We had a good week, didn't we? Great week.
I also had a cool that I got to share with you, but not our audience. I did one of the best activities with my students a couple weeks ago in October. The end of October is, of course, pink is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we did a pick out at our school. Well, I'm a breast cancer survivor. Yay, 23 years. Woo!
Go, Kristen.
And we have, I know, 23 years. I am a survivor. And then we have 2 other teachers on the staff. That one that's a 2-time survivor, and another one that's like me, 1 time. Yay! And so we had the pick out, and then with Fuel Up to Play 60, my team of 12 students, we planned activity, and one of the girls had done a chalk walk, like sidewalk chalk.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what is that? I've never even heard of that. And she said, well, you do like a 5K, and then there's buckets of sidewalk chalk, and then you can write messages to people that have survived any type of cancer, or, you know, messages to anyone that's been affected by cancer, even family members. And so we did that. It was amazing. We started at the front of the school and then just went for a 2-mile course. And the kids, the messages they wrote, and what I learned about my students, I cried several times.
Aww.
And they shared with me about their aunts or uncles or grandmas or grandpas. And sorry, there's things going on my screen. Sorry.
That's okay.
And then it was amazing because parents told me, because they heard from their kids, and they picked up their kids and they went and they took a walk to read all the messages and to see what they had written about their own family members. It was unbelievable. It was one of the most powerful days I've had with my students ever. Awesome.
And giving them the opportunity as well to write messages. You're right. I mean, I had a conversation today with Alicia, my colleague, and she said the same thing. I think it was in her health class, she'd done some writing prompts. And it's amazing what students will be willing to tell you in writing that they wouldn't necessarily offer in front of a class, or, you know, or tell you verbally themselves. I mean, you get to learn so much. I mean, it gives you a whole different lens to learn about the lives of your students, and you know, you don't realize some of the
or what they're thinking about. Like one of my youngest students that did it, she wrote this beautiful message that her grandmother had been affected, her great-grandma, her grandma, her mom had been affected by breast cancer, and she said, I will not die, I will live. That's what she wrote. It's like, wow. Yeah. We just don't know sometimes what's going on in our students' lives, and just that simple activity was amazing.
And that's why it is so important to check in with your students, and if you can, you know, find out what's happening. Just, you know, you never know when that, hey, how are you doing today? What's going on? You know, just that little side conversation could be the pick-me-up a student needs. It could be their opportunity to offload. I mean, you just,
our principal at I think it was our first staff meeting, he did a really cool thing that he gave us each a blank puzzle piece, and then we wrote people that have influenced our life, you know, influenced us in our lives, and then he put it together. A couple people are missing, so he's still working on it. And then his theme was, whose wall or whose list what student's list are you going to make? What effect are you going to have in the future on whose students, are you going to make their list of people that influence them?
I like that idea with the puzzle pieces. Wow, that would be a really neat thing to do.
To do in class and have them write, and then you put it all together, and he's gluing it all together to put it up, you know, at our school, and so the kids can see who has been influenced in our life.
See, that's huge as well, because there's so much that they won't know about you, and just by seeing that, it's another connection. It's another, obviously, it is a piece of a puzzle, but it is another piece of the puzzle that just makes that cohesiveness just grow a bit. Oh, I like that. Very cool.
No, it's awesome. And at WHPE, one of my favorite professors, Shirley White, and her husband Bob, they're both in their late 80s. Cave, and she was my absolute favorite professor. She made my puzzle piece that I wrote at school,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
they were both at WHP. Awesome people. So,
That is so
what
cool.
else has been going on with you, Joel?
Well, I have to show this because this is a lot of fun, and I present on this. But for anyone who hasn't seen it, one of my new favorite toys is Padlet, and I'm going to try if I can find my screen share here. Let's see. Oh dear, that's messy. Hang on, let me find something another one to share. There we go. Right, I've got my Twitter, but I want my, where is it? Here we go. Can you see that?
Not right now. It's blank.
Huh. Do you see a green screen at all?
I did before, but not now.
How about this? Now, do you see it?
No.
Oh, that's annoying. Well, I've been using Padlet. It's simply easy way to get there is just padlet.com, and it's basically like a massive giant post-it that you have through on the internet, and you can put questions, you can put anything out there, so that it's a great way to do formative assessments. And I did this prior to our geocaching field trip because I thought, normally I would tell my students, hey, these are things you need to bring with you for the field trip. And I thought, well, that's not helping them learn what, all the factors they need to consider. So I only had, I think, 6 iPod touches because somebody else had checked out the iPads that day. But I had them work in pairs, and they posted all the different things they thought they should bring, and then we discussed, all the different factors. And of course, some people got more than others, and they put that you need coordinates, and you maybe need gloves. Some wanted to bring a walkie-talkie, phones. Think about shelter. What else did I come up with? Making sure you tell someone where you're going. So it was good for me to see, right, what are you clued into, and what are you not clued into? Because normally that's when you make mistakes, when you forget what someone else may have thought of, like, oops, I maybe should have bought some water considering I'm hiking for 3 hours and it's a warm day, or something on those lines. So it was really been a really nice way to do formative assessments. And nice thing about it is, it's always a bit scary when you let people post things in real time because you never know what they're going to put. But you can, yeah, especially high schoolers, you can moderate it so that they can't, there's like a second delay. You have to approve the posts before they go live. So there is a little bit of a safety factor in there. And then you can save it and share it. So if someone's missed a class, then you can save it. You could put it on your website. You can, put it in your Google Classroom, and it stays, which is a really nice feature as well. So that's been really nice little thing to play with. Also at the convention, I had a lot of fun. We had the learning doesn't just stop in a session; it just keeps going the whole time. So we were at the dance in the evening, and my colleague showed me how to do an exercise band routine to YMCA, which is just great. I never thought of that. So use your exercise band, and just use it along with the music and just do different moves. I thought, how neat is that?
Oh, fun. And also, I don't know if it's on your screen, Joe, but my screen, I cannot see you anymore.
Oh.
You are blank.
That's not good. Let's see if I can
You are black. There's nothing. I can hear you.
How? Okay. No. Well, I don't know what I've done there.
You're not there.
I can see me.
Okay, well, that's all that matters.
Well, if you're
probably it's on my end.
Screen, I apologize.
That is okay. I can hear you.
Oh, what else did I do? I got to present on an episode of Teach Tech Play a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yes, I watched that.
Fun. It's Teach Tech Play. It's every month, and basically they invite educators, and they did a PE one with 5 of us. I think it's 5 of us. And what we did so you have 4 minutes to present on a topic of some description, and everyone has their turn, and we have a Q&A and so on afterwards. And at the end, after a week, people vote and say who their favorite one was. So I did a little bit on using badges in PE. Ross Halliday talked about using Remind, as you know, connecting with students and getting information to them. Mel Hamada spoke about, oh, my brain's going to leave me now. Oh, she was talking about screencasting.
Oh, yeah. I watched that. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness me. Who I'm missing?
Then there was that young teacher from Australia.
That was Ross. He did Remind. Oh, my goodness. My brain is not working very well.
There's a young, it was a young woman.
Oh, Ashley Mills. Yes. He presented on the cross-country timing app, and that was slick, very, very slick. But yeah, that was so much fun. I had to get up very early in the morning, but it was a lot of fun. So, and you know, not just the PE ones. You know, go back and watch the other episodes, because you know we all beg, borrow, and steal other people's ideas from different subject areas. So yeah, it's well worth watching some of the past episodes, and it will be well worth watching future episodes as well. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes.
Yeah, I watched yours with you and all the other people. That was really interesting.
Yeah,
and
just
to have 4 minutes, how they had the timer, and they only had 4 minutes to do it. That must have been hard.
4 minutes is like, oh, yeah.
So fast. So fast. I'm sitting on my desk. Well, of course, we have the Teach Like a Pirate book.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I did, because I kept looking in the book for, you know, the hooks and different things, so I saw on Pinterest that you can take a, you know, just a thing that has index cards, and then you write all the different hooks on it. And so now I've been writing those as I have time. And then I have this by my lesson plan book, and then I can use the different hooks in my lessons. Instead of having to go through the book, it's all in one place. So that was pretty cool too.
That's such a great book, isn't it?
And I love it. And I think it said in the last, he's coming to our school in February. So I'm really excited to meet him.
Stuff lined up there. Wow. That's fantastic. Wow, this. Can I come to your school on that day?
I would love to have you come. I want to go to your school too. And yeah, there's a lot of schools. We could go on a tour. We should go on an excellent adventure PE tour.
Oh, now you're
remotes. Oh,
yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
That'd be very cool. I'm sure. Oh, something else I have to mention. Did you catch any of the phys-pedagogy sessions? The phys ed summit.
I was so mad. Well, I wasn't mad at my husband, but anyway, we went up to our cottage in Eagle River, and there's no internet there.
Oh.
So I had to watch. I got to watch Andy Vasily, and I got to watch most of the middle school roundtable. Did you see the whole thing?
Well, I had to Google about it at the same time, so I was delayed watching them as well. But I've watched, I think, 4 or 5 of them now. I watched the high school roundtable. I watched the middle school roundtable. I watched the standards-based grading one.
Well, I watched that one.
It was just great. So good.
It was.
And that's the beauty of it. You know, we couldn't be there at the exact time, and yet we can still take so much away from it and learn a ton. So that was neat.
Yeah. It was. What a great idea by all the people that set that up.
Oh,
I was like, I tried to beg my husband if I could go into the little town by our cabin and watch some of it. He's like, we're in the North Woods. No.
What a meaning.
So, but yeah, like you said, I've got to watch 2 of them so far outside, and that's cool too, that you can watch it anytime.
Yes, it is nice. So I came up with an idea this morning. Now, I think a couple of episodes ago, I mentioned using Space Race in Socrative,
Oh
where
yeah.
you go to the quiz and you have they're using either iPads or a device to answer questions, and you have an activity, and their spaceships kind of move along and show them how they're progressing. Well, something I thought this morning, how about, technology isn't always our friend. It suddenly decides to disappear when we want it. But what can we do instead? And so I thought today I want to review geocaching, which I've been doing with a couple of my classes. And so what I'm going to do, I've decided that I've made a spaceship. Well, I haven't made a spaceship, but this, I better stand up and get move back a bit here. So this is going to be the spaceship. It's a hoop. And each team is going to have their spaceship, which of course they need to hang on to, and make sure they all stay on their spaceship at the same time, because of course we wouldn't want to lose anybody in space. So what they're going to do in their spaceship, they're going to go to a planet, which is going to be a polyspot, and they're going to, on that planet, there's going to be a task, a question they have to answer regarding geocaching. Now, around the perimeter of the field house, I'm going to have the information that they need should they not know it. And if they need to go and access that information, they will have to take their spaceship and their team to go and discover what that information is. And when they've got that information back and they've reported it to me and done the associating activity, then they move to the next planet. Do the next question, go find their thing, do their activity as a team, and then so on. So they're going to progress from one planet to the next, to the next, to the next.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so that's my plan. I'll have to let you know how it goes. So we'll see how, and then you could adapt that to anything. So I think I've made some template questions, so I will share those, so that it doesn't matter what topic you're doing, you can make your own.
Wow, that is an awesome idea.
So
awesome. Yeah, I just finished up my second unit doing the sport education model, and that has been really great too, because Charla was there at WHPE presenting on sport ed again, and this is the first year that I've done it, and it's worked awesome.
Yeah.
What I used to, the kids love the bat. They all want to be the referees, because I have the squishle whistles, and they just love those. So I've had to integrate those in other things so that they can have different jobs. So it's been great.
Something that makes a noise that just grabs kids' attention.
And the exercise specialist job has been awesome, because I just write on the board like the objective, like you do for the choice.
Yeah.
I love that when you presented that at Best Practices. So I had the different signs up for the choice, and then the exercise specialist for each team, they chose. They went around and did the choices, and then led their team through it. So that was awesome.
That is cool. It's so good for them to experience all those different roles as well, though, isn't it?
It is.
Awesome.
They really like it, and it gives them a purpose. And yeah, because I changed the teams from when we did ultimate to now that we did speedball, and I said they had to choose a different job, and so they've got to handle. And then for if you have a student that, like I have a student in a boot, and that is on like one of those, I don't know what you call it, that tricycle, because they're yeah. So she is the coach of her team. So she can't participate in physical education, but she can be on her little scooter and coaching and doing strategy with them. So that was great too.
Neat. Very cool.
Awesome.
Yay. Don't think anything else to add.
I wrote myself some notes. Have a look.
No, I do as well. Oh, I had one other one from the convention. I did this today. This was from Tim Miller, who did a whole adventure ed type session, and he's particularly looking at the debriefing process. So to a couple of my classes, we've been really focusing on working with each other and respecting each other. Basic standard for in our outdoor units. Mm-hmm. And one of the ones he had, I laminated. It was a team warm up activity where the students. I'll try and get this up a little closer. The students basically had to read the directions, which we all know sometimes. I know I'm not the best at reading directions sometimes, and work through these tasks together. And everyone had to take a turn as being a leader for an activity. And it was very specific on how they did this. So, one class did okay with it. I had to stop and they had to review and revisit and say, right, what have we not done yet? But I love how he has questions on the bottom before they start. So if you can't answer these questions, then really your group is not ready to start. Who's the first leader? What's the order of the leaders? Does everyone need to be a leader? Can some people go ahead of other people when completing a task? So if they haven't read the instructions, they're not going to know the answers to these questions. So to help clarify, it worked really well. One of my classes they're still working together and making great decisions. They did a fantastic job with it. So I actually want to make some more versions because it's down as a warm-up activity, but I actually did it as a different part of my class. So I'm going to create some additional ones with different activities there, but that worked really nicely. And again, just talking about stopping and thinking before you do something. Because, you're a teenager, it's very easy not to think before you act sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I teach middle school, so yeah. That's my everyday life. I love it.
Oh, bless them. They're all good. So yeah, it's been a busy, crazy, exciting few weeks, and
oh, it has. It's been, yeah. Our WHP convention is also always just amazing, and the networking and all the great presenters you brought in. It was an amazing 2.5 days. I learned a lot.
Yeah, good stuff. Alrighty.
All right.
Bring this episode to a close. I will get show notes up and out probably by tomorrow at some point. So if we've rabbited on about something and you want to know what it is and where you can find it, I will make sure they're on our Excellent P Adventures website where you can find the archives of the videos as well. So.
Awesome. It's just I looked all day. I went, yes, I do get to do a P Excellent Adventure today with Joe.
Yeah. I
get as many ideas from you as being on here is so exciting.
Exactly. That's where we win. So awesome. Well, wonderful chatting with you, and
yes,
we'll be back before too long with episode 5, won't we?
And maybe you'll be there December 3rd when I get there to learn about standards-based grading.
I think I should. I think it's important.
I think you should too. It'll be awesome. It's in Menominee Falls.
Menominee Falls. All right. I've got it on my list of things to check out in about 2 minutes when we finish. All right.
All right.
See you next time, Crystal. Bye.
All right.